big this fella is. Whoa, 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 whoa. He wants to come get me. This is pretty strange. Look at these two things. This thing just scared the bejesus out of me. Hello, how are you? Do you know if anyone lives in that house?
I don't know. I've seen anyone in there for,
For a long time?
Yeah, I reckon it's empty now.
It looks like all the doors are open, there's computers inside, everything, yeah.
Yeah, really?
Yeah, yeah.
Checked all the rooms?
I didn't check, I didn't go inside, but I opened the front door and the side door just to have a look.
Definitely no one's been living in there.
I actually have a YouTube channel. I go around and I just tidy places. So I wanted to know if someone was actually living there.
I looked at it the other day, I said, it looked like terrible, you know.
It's bad, isn't it? Getting the front done just so at least you guys don't get squatters anymore, because I'm sure people have been going in and out of there.
Definitely haven't seen no one there for a week.
If you hear a lot of noise, it's me.
Hello everybody, and welcome back to this week's free garden transformation video. And if you're new to the channel, I'm so glad that you found your way here. You're going to have a great time. So it has been another stinking hot week here in Australia. So hot that the safety goggles that I always wear ended up melting onto my face, which was pretty funny. But you should see the yard we are tackling this week. This one is absolutely insane. Probably the worst backyard and driveway that I've ever had to deal with. In last week's video, we actually tackled the front yard of this property. So if you want to see that one, I'll link it in the description of this video. That one is also pretty nuts. But this yard, I did not even know really where to begin with this place. Some of the weeds in this yard were even taller than me, and they were so thick that my whippersnipper couldn't get through them. My mower had no chance, but luckily now I have my ninja blade, so that ended up helping me a big time on this job. The weeds in this backyard were so tall, so brown and dry, and it is a massive fire hazard as we are now in summer here in Australia and things are getting very hot. Not to mention that this place would have had rats and snakes and everything living in this environment because it was the perfect place for them. So I'm sure the neighbours would have been a bit worried having to live next door to this place. But there were so many random items in this yard that I came across. There were pillows, there were chairs, there was a barbecue with a gas bottle still attached. And then there were also random eggs that were just scattered all throughout this yard, which was a bit weird, and so many more things that you'll see. And then there were still a few things that were surviving in this yard, one being a huge weeping peppermint tree in the middle of the yard. It looked like this thing was a bit overdue for a haircut. And to the other side of the yard was a massive apricot tree with fruits all over it. And this thing was clearly thriving in this environment. It was a bit scary working here over the few days that I was here because all of the doors were open, the back door to the property was just completely open as well. But I'm sure this place was probably being used by squatters at some point. But I ended up finding so many cool weird creatures at this property, so stick around to see some of those. And I can't wait for you guys to see the end product here because this one was definitely up there in one of the hardest ones I've had to tackle. And the before and afters, which are at the end of this video, are pretty damn nice, so stick around to the end to see those. And if you enjoy these types of videos that I make, the best way that you can support me is to just like the video and subscribe to the page. It is completely free to subscribe and it just keeps you updated with all of my latest videos. Now, enough of me yapping on. Let's get to the cleanup. So grab your tea, grab your coffee, grab your wine, grab your water, grab whatever you need, and enjoy today's makeover. I'll see you guys in the comments.
Okay, so I just had a look down the side there and it is full of rubble and construction debris. So I'm gonna just try and clear up as much as I can and get rid of all the weeds to make it look nice at least. So there's a setup there for a basketball hoop. I'm just going to leave this all here because it's probably not rubbish and it looks like it's a complete set there. One of these. Oh my God, look what I just found. This thing just scared the bejesus out of me. There's a rubber fake snake here. That would scare you. I can't believe someone would do that. Anyway, what I want to do here is I just want to pack up all of this stuff, put it into the shed and then close the sheds. So at least whoever's stuff this is hidden and is safer. Let's get cleaning it. Also, finding a whippersnapper, but I don't want to touch too much of this stuff because I don't know whose this is. Oh, it's like a lot of gross liquids with oil combined. Probably about 100 bottles there, and we get 10 cents each in South Australia for a bottle. There's about at least $10 there in bottles for someone. I'm not going to touch those, we'll just leave it for some treasure for someone to find someday. That felt like that was going to break every moment then. I'm going to just try and push it back a little bit more, but I don't want to break this thing. guessing that this was or used to be some type of pipe, maybe for gas, I'm not sure. But this is the protector that we use for them here in South Australia. These big plastic tubs that go over the top. So I'm guessing that's how that used to be. Okay, so we managed to find a plant over here that is actually flowering. This is called an agapantha, and these are an extremely hardy plant. They are very drought tolerant, they're very heat resistant, and bees love these things because they are a pollinator magnet. So far we have managed to uncover 2 plants that are still alive here in this property. One was this agapanthus next to us, which has a beautiful purple flower. And this guy over here, this is called a yucca. And these are also extremely drought tolerant, just like pretty much everything else that is surviving here. It would need to be quite drought tolerant, but this yucca is in really good condition. I'm just going to give it a little bit of a clean up at the bottom and get rid of a few weeds that are growing through it, but it's doing really well. So I'm not going to touch this little cabinet thing because this is going to come apart as soon as I start moving it. So I just found a garden bed. So there's some black capping here that is going all the way that way. I'm not sure how far it goes, but we're going to expose this and clear everything in the garden bed. So I've got a little creature to show you guys. This is a praying mantis. This is a white praying mantis. Oh, hey mate. Oh, just spotted him then crawling up the wall, but these guys are really cute. And let me just show you what he looks like. So I haven't actually seen one of these guys for a few months. I used to run into them all the time in spring. I'm gonna go put him away somewhere safe, away from my Ninja Star. This chair is very heavy, this rusty chair. I actually really like the rustic look of this thing. It's really nice to put in a garden, especially a green garden. Look what I just came across. Found some potatoes growing in the ground over there. If you can even call this thing a potato. But yeah, pretty cool. Someone must have thrown some potatoes in there at some point. So, this is pretty strange. Look at these two things. I'm not sure if this one's supposed to be a cross or not, or if these are graves, although that says H. They could have been the names of their pets or something, but we'll just give these a little bit of a clean up. Bit strange, but we've got some eggs in amongst all this. These feel completely hollow, so I don't know how long these have been sitting there, probably years. And we found the other chair. I just need to mention again how good this Ninja Star attachment is. All that stuff down the side there was kikuyu grass, and this thing just melted it like butter. It is very good. Okay, so I've just come across one of the worst smells that I've ever had to face. There are dozens of rotten eggs over here on the ground, and I think I've just trod on a couple. I'm just going to clear this bit a little bit lower and try and get out of there as soon as possible because it is absolutely disgusting. So the weeds that are towards the back of this yard are a little bit thinner, so I'm going to try and attempt to use my whipper snipper on these. Hopefully it cuts them down, otherwise we are back to the Ninja Star. Okay, we're back to the Ninja Star. Something hilarious that I've just spotted. I just had to wipe it off of my head, but there was a big black smudge on my forehead, and it's because it is so hot that these are actually melting. Look at this. So I don't really know what to do about that. These are supposed to have UV protection and be safe for the sun. All right, so we actually have 4 plants growing in this little planter box here. We have this guy over here. This is called a baby sunrose, or some people call them an ice plant as well. So these actually originate from South Africa, and of course they are very drought tolerant, just like anything that is still surviving in this garden. But these things are so hardy, you can normally just snap one of these off, leave it on the ground, and it will just keep going and keep growing. This is what the flowers look like at the moment. And then we have these two here. These are called aeoniums. We've got a green tree aeonium and a black rose aeonium. These actually change color with the sun, depending on if they're in a shady spot or a full sun spot. These green ones actually go yellow when they're in full sun and more green when they're in the shade. And this black rose one goes more black when it's in the sun and more purple when it's in the shade. And then the last 2 things that we have in here that are still alive are one of these. This is called a panda plant. It's called a panda plant because these are very fuzzy leaves and they have a dark outer rim which looks like a panda's ear. And then over here are 2 cactuses growing. This type of species is called an old man cactus or an old man of Mexico. And they are called this because they look like the beard of an old man. But these are actually modified spines of the cactus that have gone very soft and almost hair-like. And obviously another drought-loving plant. We have a cactus here. Don't know how long this has been here. Not sure what type of cactus this is. Looks like just your normal common one, but these have very long spines on them, so be very careful and always wear gloves when you're near cactuses. So, we've got one of our friends here, little Pee-wee's back. Hey mate. Looking for some worms around the place? And finding them. Had to get the umbrella out for this job because it is so hot this week in Adelaide. At least it's less of a fire hazard now, even though it is quite bare, but there was no lawn growing anywhere in this property apart from the sides here, but that was actually coming from the neighbours' side. But yeah, look at our little friend over here, having a real good time, getting a lot of food. Very cool. Whoa, 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 don't attack me though. Holy moly. Look at how big this fella is. Whoa, 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 whoa. He wants to come get me, I think. So I think this is a praying mantis or a stick insect. But he is staring me directly in the face and coming at me. Oh, he's a little bit more chilled out now. Look how massive he is though. You were just blending into the trees, mate. Lucky I seen you. But I'm gonna go put him away somewhere safe, away from my ninja blade. Very cool though. So it seems like this back area here was being used as a bit of a dumping site, either from the tenants or from someone else. But I'm going to leave all of that stuff there and just get it tidied up a bit and try and get rid of all of this brown grass and make this place less of a fire hazard. Check out how many flies there are over here. I think I just swallowed like 2 of them. Oh, these things have just sprouted up everywhere as soon as I started cutting this stuff. Look at this. I have no idea how this is still alive because it's a tropical plant, but we have a monstera here that is barely living. Cool, I've just spotted, came into the yard for a bit. Oh, and he's gone. So as I was just moving stuff around, I just seen a little animal come over this fence and come say hello, but as soon as I saw him, he's kind of run back over, but I don't reckon he's gone very far. Let's go have a look. Oh, oh, hello. Hey, buddy. See ya. Potentially the neighbour's cat, I'm not sure, but very cute. Okay, so this tree behind me right here, this is an apricot tree. This is growing really well because these trees thrive in dry, hot summers, especially here in South Australia. These are also one of the earliest blooming fruits. And I just found out that this is the reason why all of those flies were everywhere. There are fruit flies on every single piece of fruit. There are so many. But I'm just going to give this a light prune back because there's fruit all over it and clear up some of the bottom bits. All right, and last but not least, we have this beautiful weeping peppermint tree behind us. So these are called weeping peppermints because if you crush the leaves up, they have a very eucalyptus-y, pepperminty smell. It's a natural oil that deters bugs away. These are native to Australia. They actually originate in Western Australia, and you see these all around the place. They can live up to 100 years old. But considering there's not much greenery left in this yard, I'm only going to give this a small prune back around the sides and down the bottom, try and keep as much greenery left as we can in this yard.